Okay, another top 10 list today at Live on Purpose TV, anger management tips for parents. These are the top 10 ways to get past anger. The most important starting place when we're dealing with anger is to understand what anger is. So as we count down the top 10 for anger management for parents, number 10, learn what anger is. Understand the nature of the beast. Anger is really a manifestation of our body's fight or flight response. Our brain is constantly monitoring for threat, something that is dangerous. When we feel anger, it's usually a fight response to a perceived threat. This will give us some clues as to what else we can do with it. But one of the things that understanding anger helps us with is that it gives us some specific strategies of what we can do about it. So learn about anger. We've got a couple of other videos here, especially in the positive personal development playlist here on the channel. So check those out, find out more about anger and what you can do about it specifically. That's number 10. Now moving up to number 9. Get some education around children and child development. This is important because anger often is a response to something that's not going as we expected it to go or the way that we want it to go. Children operate very differently than adults do. Understanding their development helps us to have more compassion and understanding and empathy, as opposed to insisting or feeling like they have to do something the way we want them to do it. Get some education around that. Watching the channel helps with that too, because we talk about that quite a bit. But there's other resources and places where you can get information about child development and learn what's normal, what's expected when you're working with kids. That'll help to bring the anger better under control. Now let's move up the list now to number 8. For number 8, I'm going to say join a community. Get some support. Build a network around you where you can have resources and ideas and opportunities for conversations and relationships. When we're not alone in any particular struggle, we tend to feel better about it. So build this community and see how you can connect with other people who are also experiencing some of the things that you've been experiencing. And that leads us up to number 7. Anger management really is best achieved when we take good care of ourselves. Number 7 is to take good care of you, of yourself, meeting your own needs. Children are not capable of taking care of the needs of an adult. Now that should probably go without saying, but sometimes we start to rely on them. I'll be happy if my kids behave. I'll be calm if my children are listening to me, if I don't have to yell. Okay, well that's putting quite a bit of pressure on those kids to take care of your needs. How about you take care of you, and then you can show up as a better, more conscious, maybe less angry parent. Take good care of yourself. So whatever that means, and at a very basic level, it means get enough sleep, eat a balanced diet, get regular exercise. You follow? This is not rocket science. It's actually brain science or people science. Take care of yourself in ways that allow you to show up as a more conscious and less angry parent. Let's go to number 6. Don't sweat the small stuff. Oh, and by the way, little hint here. Most of it is small stuff. Most of what we're dealing with our kids. You think about the things that frustrate you. Kids leaving toys laying around. Kids not obeying me the first time. Kids not paying attention to their homework or their chores. Really? These are the things that are tipping us over. On the larger, more global scale, how big of a deal is that? Yeah, not so much. You know what, I had an experience years ago where I was visiting the Arctic Circle in Finland. Now, this is the little cap on the top of the world. If you picture the whole globe, there's just a little cap up there called the Arctic Circle. I was visiting that. It's way up north. And they had a sign that had a picture of the globe on it, and it had one of those arrows that says, "You are here," pointing right to the top of that thing. And I thought it was kind of fun, but it also gave me a perspective. Here I am in this little spot way up on top of the world, and most of what's going on in the world is down below there somewhere. It's somewhere south of where I was. And whatever my problems were seemed to shrink in comparison to the global or worldwide spectrum of problems that exist out there. Just kind of shrink down. Now, it's significant to me because it is me. But in the larger perspective, it's really not that big a deal. So when I say don't sweat the small stuff, understand and notice that the things you're dealing with your kids, not that big a deal on the grand scale of all things. Big deal to you because it's going on in your life and in your home. But let's keep that perspective, and that's going to help us to manage the anger. You follow? Don't sweat the small stuff. Hint, most of it is small stuff. Now we get into our top 5. Number 5, commit to enjoy your kids. I really believe that there are times when we have a choice. We're either going to be frustrated and annoyed, or we're going to be entertained and enjoying. Really? Can we choose between those two? Honestly, some of the things that frustrate you, other people are enjoying on viral videos here on YouTube. Yeah? You've seen some of them, haven't you? Kids doing some of the darndest things. And instead of getting frustrated and annoyed, those parents grab their smartphone, shoot a little viral video of their kid with permanent magic marker all over their face, or making that huge mess in the kitchen and then looking sheepish about it, right? Yeah. Can you commit by choice and intention? Do it on purpose, maybe. Hey, that's a novel idea. Where you commit to enjoy your children. And whatever's been tipping you over, you switch that around in your mind to the point where you can actually be entertained by it and enjoy them. Is that a possibility? Try it on. Let's see how it works. Number 4. It's going to surprise you, I know. Keep a positive perspective. A positive perspective has 2 parts to it. The first part is evaluation. It's where you're judging your circumstances. You're judging your kids and their behavior. You're judging your relationship with them. That's the evaluation piece. Can you get in that evaluation piece to the place where you feel and maybe just choose this perspective that this is good? This is good. The fact that you have a child in the first place is pretty darn awesome. Do you know how many people on this planet wish they were in your position where they could deal with some of the problems that you're getting angry about? Get the perspective. You have a child. You have an opportunity to react with that child. That's pretty darn amazing. That's the evaluation part. The other piece is creation. When we're talking about keeping a positive perspective, where's all this going? You don't know. Think about that for a minute. How you doing next week? You don't know. You've got something to do with it. Please don't forget that. But you don't know. So everything that you're predicting that's coming in the future doesn't exist yet. We haven't created it yet. So using our imagination, we get to imagine that what's coming from all of this chaos that we have in our life right now, which is good, remember, positive evaluation, all of what's coming from that is yet to be seen. And we have to imagine it first. Now, when you imagine that what's coming is even worse than what you already have, how do you feel? This, my friends, is anxiety. It's when we imagine that what's coming is worse than what we've already got. What happens when we imagine that what's coming is even better than what we've already got? How do we feel? That's positive creation, because we predict or anticipate or expect that what's coming is even better than what we've already got. That creates hope and excitement, not anger. Notice that. And you get to choose which position you take. Choose a positive position. One of the ways we do that is number 3 on our list today. Focus on gratitude. Gratitude for what you have, for where you are, for how your kids are behaving. Can you get there? Yes, you can. The fact that your kids can behave is pretty darn good news, because that's a blessing maybe, or a benefit that we take for granted. Our kids are misbehaving. Well, congratulations, your kids are capable of misbehaving, as opposed to being on life support or in some vegetative state somewhere, or kidnapped or abducted or out of your control. Notice that they're here. The fact that they're misbehaving is good news, isn't it? Yeah. Focus on your gratitude for what it is, the way it is, right now, without changing anything. Powerful way to get on top of our own anger and create a whole different energy within our feelings. Focus on the gratitude. Now, what are we going to do with that energy that we generate as we experience gratitude and that positive perspective? That takes us to number 2 on our list. Coming in at number 2 is to be creative. You are a creator. You've got the power to make all kinds of stuff. Do you realize that you have the power to make a mess? Oh, you've noticed. Yeah, if you haven't, pay attention. You have the power to make a mess. This is really good news, because if you can make a mess, what else might you be able to make? Yeah, a masterpiece, right? Something really awesome and amazing. Be creative means that you take this powerful imagination of yours, and instead of worrying or obsessing about everything that could go wrong or be worse, you get that turned in the other direction, where you're focused now on, how can I make this better? Even better than it already is, because we already determined that it's good. Do you see what happens to the feelings? And suddenly those feelings of anger or anxiety or dread can turn into feelings of hope and positivity and anticipation. That's number 2. Be creative. Now let's go to number 1. The number 1 way to help manage your anger as a parent is to remember your job. What is your job as a parent? Okay, this is easy. And if you've known me for very long, or if you watch very many videos on this channel, you'll know that your job as a parent is to love them no matter what, and even if. Anger is often tied to, oh, it's not the way it should be. Oh, they're not doing what they should do, right? As if your job is to make sure that they do something in a particular way. It's not. Your job is to love them, no matter what, and even if. Let that settle in for a minute and just see what kind of relief that brings to your heart and mind. If that's really your job, you can do that, can't you? You're already doing that. What if that's your only job? I say that with a little disclaimer, because if you love them, which is your job, then you are going to step up and do a whole lot of other things, but that's not your primary job. Your job is to love them, no matter what, and even if. Get focused on that. Guess what happens to the anger? Yeah. Cool, huh? I am personally so honored that you are here and to be on your parenting team. Take a moment to check out the Parenting Power Up. You can connect to it right over there, where you're going to find all kinds of great tips.